Right, so just going to talk a little bit about my bike history, what I've had, what I've loved. To be fair, actually, I've loved all the bikes I've had. My first bike though was a PW50. Well, it wasn't strictly mine, it was my older brother's. I had a little go-kart, a little petrol go-kart, and he had a PW50, a little Yamaha PW50. Baby Yamimoto. And I think I was 2/3, probably 3/4. 3-4 years old. I used to play on that, and then I think when I was 6, let's say 6, 5 or 6, Mum and Dad bought me and my older brother identical TY80s, little Yamaha TY80 trials bike, and we were real fortunate. Mum and Dad had a house with like an orchard in the back garden. We used to burn around up and down the banks, and my little brother, baby brother, he had a Suzuki TL50 quad, and yeah, we used to burn around with that. I mean, if I can find a photo, I'll stick a photo in. And then I went to a Fantic 241. It's either a 241 or a 249. Basically 250cc 2-stroke trials bike. Now I don't think Fantic's not made anymore, but if you type it in, into Google, you'll see it. And I had that for a long time. We used to take that to my granddad's farm. He had a river. We used to burn through the river. It was a massive, ridiculous jumps we used to go crazy on. Mum used to watch us, her head in her hands. But yeah, then when I turned 16, I wasn't allowed a motorbike. I wasn't allowed a moped. My mum and dad said, well, I think it was more my mum than my dad, but she said, no, you're not having one. I think I was too crazy. She used to see what I was like on the dirt and just assumed that I'd kill myself on the road, which, you know, she's possibly right. I was a bit of a lunatic. But yeah, then I was 16. I still had the Fantic, and I still messed around on dirt bikes. My first road bike was actually when I was 23. I did my direct access license, because I never actually had a road bike or road license until then. So I did my CBT, then my direct license. Passed first time, of course, because I am that awesome. And my first bike was a ZXR 400, a Jap import. My little brother, who wasn't quite so little, bought it off someone who dropped it on the ice. They thought it was a good idea to take it riding in the ice. Only superficial damage. It was black and purple, and he changed it to Kawasaki red. I love that thing, man. That was, when you've never ridden a quick bike, I mean, that 400, I mean, that was quick. I think it had like 80 odd horsepower out of a 400. I mean, that was, compared to the car, it was super quick. But bought that from him. Boiler packed up at home. Had to sell the bike to buy a boiler. I had a 6-month-old baby as well. So that was that. I didn't think I had a bike for probably 2.5 years, 2.5 years. And sadly, my granddad, he passed away, and he left us some money in the will, and he wanted us to spend it on us, ourselves. And my wife said to me, go and buy yourself a bike. So I did. Wasn't this bike? I was looking at these bikes when I first started looking. Couldn't afford it, didn't have enough money. Didn't have enough money to buy the Aprilia. So I bought an 06 636. I bought it, it was 2 years old, and it had 1,200 miles on the clock. It was immaculate. And the guy had only just barely broken it and run it in. And I had that one for 2 years, and that was a great bike, man. Exactly the same as the AK-47, same year, completely standard though. Didn't have any aftermarket cans or anything like that. And I kept looking at the Aprilas. I kept looking. Monies were a bit, we're a bit more financially better off. And I was looking around, and there's this guy on eBay selling this bike. But he traded this bike in for an RSV4, and he was trying to sell it privately before he traded in, because he'd obviously get more money for a private sale. And I contacted him and said, look, I'm really interested, but I've got to sell my bike first. And he's like, well, what have you got? Told him what I had, and he rang up the dealer and asked how much they'd trade my bike in instead of this one. And basically they offered him more trade-in on my bike than they did on this, even though this bike was worth more. In the dealership they had 4 of these on the forecourt, and they didn't have any 600s, so they were willing to pay more for the 600 to get it in the showroom than they were on this. So I drove all the way to Derby, which is the Midlands, so a fair old way. Did a straight swap. I came back with this. He was happy because he got more money, and I was happy because I had the bike I've always wanted. So everybody was happy, and I've still got it now, and I love it, man. It's got uber amount of torque. It's got crazy torque, and it's definitely not a beginner's bike, I tell you. It's caught me out a couple of times, but I'll tell you one thing though, that 636, not a bad view, that 636 was an awesome bike. It was so forgiving. If you leant in and you thought you were going too quick, it never ever once did I think it was ever going to let go of me. Just the grip and being Japanese, I mean, the reliability of it was awesome, always awesome. It's my grandparent, it's my grandfather. But yeah, so now I've got this one. Next bike I want to get is the KTM RC8R. I love twins. 2 cylinders, loads of torque, and so yeah, that's my biking history.